Cool. So, Robin Thirdfloor, my mans, welcome to BLSTK WORLD. So we're just gonna back and forth voice notes. So I think first things first. Let's start at the beginning. So I've known you since you were Asheron, if I'm not mistaken. That was your previous name, and then you changed your name to Robin Thirdfloor when you dropped Sounds That Empty Pockets Make. I think I'm getting it right. So I think my first question is, what was the journey like? What made you decide to change your name, and where does this new name come from? And yeah, like what does it represent? And was the name change something very significant for you in your journey?
Well, my previous rap name was Akaron, so yeah. But the reason why I changed my rap name was because I graduated, so I knew after Iskele, I wanted to start this hip hop thing on a new, fresh slate, So yeah, that's how Robin Thirdfloor came about. And then basically the name was inspired by Robin, was inspired by, my fascination with the Robin Hood concept. Not necessarily to like steal from the rich and give to the poor, but being a guy who makes it and then is able to give back, you see. Like that was my interpretation of Leo concept. And then Thirdfloor represents, my third rap name, and also the elevation of the music from what was to what is. The elevation of my music, by the way.
Sure. Sorry about the mispronunciation of your name, dog. As now, English is not my mother tongue. But yeah, I dig the whole Robin idea. Like I really like it, like giving back, Nan in Thirdfloor. And I think just to comment on that, I can tell from the way that you've kind of branded yourself, Ugusi, you already are giving back in terms of your representation of where you're from, Umlazi, and like giving your dress code is basically very, very township, Nan. So I think, can you just maybe just comment on that, like Ugusi, in terms of your branding, yeah? How are you approaching the whole thing? Like now coming from some danger, and because I've read some of the explanations you've had for some danger, and then now with the whole Potela movement. So if you could just elaborate on the whole Potela theme that you are pushing right now in terms of your branding as an artist.
Hola. So what I'd say about the branding thing is that, like previously, I used to make the efforts like we as now, we grew up on American hip hop, as much as we were exposed to local hip hop, but it was, even now, local hip hop was sort of like inspired by American hip hop, and there wasn't that much of a local aesthetic to that hip hop, in terms of image, in terms of slang and all that. This was in so for me, I felt like that part of where I'm from was not represented, whether it's mainstream, whether it's abroad, it wasn't represented. And I took it upon myself, which as in, let me just be, let me be who I am, like not a character as such, because I feel like before, abafana be hip hop, like abafana be hip hop. Now it's like it's not like abafana be hip hop anymore, because it's like, oh flip, this guy dresses like us and he represents the hood, and now it's just like, okay, cool, now people resonate with me more. I'm using the slang, which was a slang so we won't know what I felt like maybe with conversations with people and not within my craft. And when I started like uthatha yonke lento le vele ngangiyona and now putting it into my craft, yiyo ke manje sengithatha ngibeke to other levels, because wherever I'm going, people abawazi lokho, like they don't know. Bayathukeza ukuthi hey Lumjida, why is he like this? Oh flip, uyarappa but futhi urappa kanje. It's like, you know. So now I have something to offer to the world that abangayazi, you know, abangayazi at all. So yeah, the Some Danger thing as well. So Some Danger was a statement. Yeah, it was a song, but it was also like a statement. Just me coming out and saying, you know, I'm fearless, you know, I'm fearless, and I'm gonna become Lumuntu Ngitsinguyena, and whether abantu bayathanda or they don't like it, they're gonna accept me and what I'm coming with, you know. And then with the Potela movement, like Potela is like a movement, you know, for all the weird kids, whether it's in township, in the burbs, wherever, basically, you know, ukuthi abekho alone, and it's okay to be different, you know. Vele kahle kahle lento le impilo doesn't really have a manual, and it's okay. Mawufuna ukuphila ngale ndlela ufuna ukuphila ngayo, it's okay, you know. There are people like you, there are people who are like-minded, and there are people who share the same views on life or whatever, you know, same whatever nje, kodwa nje bakhona abantu abahlukile just like you out there, and awukho. Yo bruh, and to add on the Potela word, you're from the township, so you know like the word is used for insulta and make like the different kids feel somewhat inferior, you know. So I was one of those kids who were made to feel like that, you know. I mean, didn't come from the flashiest of backgrounds, but somehow little kama little, you know, because of my mindset, izinto indlela ngicabanga ngayo, indlela ngiyona, you know, that name Nami yanamathela ngimina ukuthi hey nalo uyipotela. I mean, he doesn't come from a rich family or whatever, but uyipotela ngendlela nje enza ngayo engeke lo, you know. So yeah, and so I just owned this name, you know. Singenzela bani, singenzela the kids who are coming behind me, you know. Abazayo ngemuva ukuthi yazini ntwana, it's okay to be different. Don't let people try and silence you. Don't let people try and make you what they want to be. You can actually be yourself. You know, speaking about the whole Potela thing, you know, like Elovu, you wouldn't get like 10 years ago, you wouldn't get they just dyed his hair red or something, you know. But now the kids are doing it, you know, because man, just somehow they more comfortable in being themselves. So if you want to dye your hair red, fam. Green, whatever, you know. If you want to wear skinnies or whatever, do it, you know, because there are no rules to this life thing. You know, in the township, rural areas, wherever, you know, you can be yourself, your weird self, and it's okay. And that's what the Potela movement is about, you know, being weird. Okay, yeah, being weird and not letting anybody try dictate to how you should live your life.
I really I think I can definitely resonate with what you are saying, most of it, because I remember growing up when I started this hip hop thing, sasibizwa ngamanika like oh yo my man. I mean even in my hood, bro, like they used to do that. But when hip hop started coming up, all of a sudden amachita on some yo dog, what's up, hook us up with the new shit, and I think I really dig what you're doing because you're basically taking a stand, and I think it lives up to what you were saying with Robin, you know, giving back and what you are doing is a very powerful way of giving back by actually empowering people, because what you're doing is basically actually affecting people's self-esteem to a certain degree. Well, so big ups for that. So you've been overseas, Nani, and I don't think right now I want to get into your experience of overseas, but you can touch on it a little. But what I really want to know about is, I've been seeing a lot of activity around you and Diza and Jägermeister, and I think maybe if you could just tell us what you can tell us in terms of that whole relationship that you have going with Diza and Jägermeister, and what that's done and what it's doing and what it's going to do for your career, especially as an independent artist coming from a township and having opportunities like performing at South by Southwest.
Yeah, man. I remember that quite well. I didn't really experience it much, but like high school, yo, my man, like suckle, I'm a snap bag, and people would like tease us and stuff. Yeah, I remember that. Cool. But yeah, man. So yeah, in terms of just me as an artist, I felt like as much as you can be whatever you are within the creative space, but if ungameli lutho, then Kendrick, if you don't stand for anything, stand for something or die in the morning. Yeah. So that for me is what I'm standing for, because I feel like the kids that were born manje are very expressive in terms of who they are, and their expression comes in so many different forms, like if they're more colorful, than probably the youth of like the 90s or whatever. So I feel like they should be given that freedom to be, to be what they want to be. And yeah, so in terms of the relationship with the brands, I'm working with Jägermeister under their creative program, ebizwa nge X. So there's like 10 of us nationally. They chose like 10 creatives, and which they're working with in terms of creating content and stuff for them. So that's the relationship I have with Jägermeister, and also, Bang Caesar, because they're such a big brand, they're just helping, in terms of funding the ideas that I have, because I have a lot of ideas, bruh. So, they helping me, structure wonke all my ideas and make them come to life, because that's what the Jäger X program is about, to my creatives which they feel like have like major potential and help materialize the ideas. The Diza thing. Diza, being a part of the first Diza Next campaign, which was a campaign where they chose 4 artists which they felt like are going to be the next big thing in South Africa. And the deal there was to obviously collaborate with them in terms of pushing a project, and them actually combining our resources to make sure that the project that I dropped, reaches the masses. And it did, like I saw Ningi Owenzegile that popped off with Botela just from that partnership alone, and I'm very, very grateful for Diza. We're still going to be working, it goes beyond 2017, and I'm really, really excited for what the future holds in terms of that as well. Yo, bruh, about South by Southwest. South by Southwest is crazy. Like, I could never ever put the South by Southwest experience in words, because I feel like ngiyakhohlwa ukuthi khona kunye mhlawumbe ngikhohlwayo yabo, and then umuntu masehambile I'm like, flip, I didn't tell this guy this, you know. So but I'll try. South by Southwest was mad nice, like incredible. You know, when I was there, I slept like 2 or 3 hours per day. Like the 2 weeks that I was there, I was sleeping 2 or 3 hours because I couldn't afford to sleep. When you are in the presence of people who could change your life forever, you know, how can you sleep? You know, that you could meet down the hall that could change your life forever, you know. So that was just me at that festival. I was just doing the most in terms of networking with people, you know, artists, big record label execs, you know, and just meeting the fans that side, like the people who love music generally, and just meeting them and introducing them to my music, you know, it was also very, very cool, you know, a cool thing to do. And also being in the same spaces as these big artists, you know, like I feel like we have these ideas, but then they're actually human. They're just human like us, you know. So being in the same spaces, like was, oh, okay, cool. I mean, even if I didn't take pictures of some of the moments, you know, but I have the mental pictures, man. I have the mental pictures. Every time I think about it, I'm like, damn, fam, damn. You know, from him lives to that, you know. And just realizing, like, the whole experience, né? Like, it confirmed one thing for me. Like, one thing that I did know, but I needed confirmation. I won't even lie. Like, I needed confirmation. And that thing was, the limits that we have are the ones that we put on ourselves, you know? And being South by South confirmed that, you know, if I had put a limit on my music and said this is imculo for only umlazi, you know, I would have only circulated, or the music would have only circulated umlazi. But because zisuka is for the world, you know, and now it's actually happening, you know, because so the limits that we have in our lives are the limits that we put on ourselves. And once we change the limits, we change our lives, you know. So that experience for me confirmed Leon Dole. And yeah, man, it was amazing, bro. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah. I can imagine, bro. Like, you are in the presence of greatness. You know, like, I mean, I've seen South by Southwest lineups, I've seen the roster, I've seen the programs, and yeah, well, like, I probably, if I went there, I'd probably have to be on some Ritalin or ecstasy the whole fucking time, so I don't sleep at all. Yeah, well, but yeah, I mean, like, big ups, you know, for everything that you've managed to do, everything you've accomplished. I think you've come a very long way, and also especially because I think for me, you have always been very left field, you know. It's like when hip-hop was streets, you were Portela. When hip-hop was trapping, you were Portela. You've always just been left field in your own way, yabo. And also, I feel personally that you came up real quick on the side from an angle that no one else was actually pursuing, and you did it, and it's working for you. And like, I'm genuinely happy for everything that you've achieved. So I think just to end it, I'll just allow you to say whatever you want to say to people listening, anything really that you'd like to say to people. You've got free reign, and then
away. Appreciate those words, bruh. Like, really, really appreciate those words. You know, especially because you from, like, sort of like a different hip hop generation than I'm from, you know, but you acknowledge the span, because you're about the art, you're about the art, and you're about actually just the movement, as a whole. So I really appreciate you even taking your time to with my views, what do I think about whatever, So I really appreciate that a lot, man. What I'd like the people to know is that Bodel is out. It's been out for like a couple of months now. It's my EP produced by Dejort, producer was Switzerland, electronic producer. Go and get that. It's on all online stores. Icon. Bodel is doing quite well. Top best 30 hip-hop albums in South Africa. It was named best 30 hip-hop album in South Africa that dropped in 2007. Also, it debuted at in the top 25 with these downloaded in Africa. So Bodel is doing quite well, but I also needed to do even more well, so people please go and get it, and just keep supporting the movement. The Weird Kids are here and they're here to stay. Showcase. Sorry. Best hip-hop albums that dropped in 2017. What's up with 2007?
Showcase, bro. 2007. Huge time traveling now. We put a little stack we passed. Nah, bro. 2017, motherfucker. Thank you for your time, dog. Like, I really appreciate you taking the time out to have this WhatsApp exchange with me. You could have been doing anything right now, but you chose to sit down in a quiet spot and actually exchange voice notes with me. So thank you to everyone who's listening in on this. I really appreciate you taking your time out as well to actually download or stream this podcast. So this is BLSTK WORLD. Yeah, man. Thank you, Robin.